Hey, good evening. Welcome to the Alan Osborne Show. It's March 30th. We're going to get into some things, and I'm going to roll right into the good old Walton County corruption's going on. Then I'll pick a thumbnail to go on this show. But I am still blown away by what I saw at the last meeting. From the crystal issue of not signing the contract to the dirty secret that Uriah and Danny didn't want to tell, and evidently some people knew and some people didn't. It was it was reminiscent of Barker's speech as y'all better trust us. And then here I want to point out something else. Go back and watch real close. Donna wants to know what it is, and Danny says he can't tell her. He's not allowed. Let me tell you something, Danny. It's not a violation of the Sunshine Law for y'all to talk in front of all of us. This is a noticed meeting, and you can tell them anything you want to right here, Danny. It's the one when you want to go talk about it somewhere else. I think you have the Sunshine Law confused. Telling Donna you can't tell her in front of the whole public, that's fine. You can tell her whatever you want right there in public. You can't go find her when we're not watching, Danny. That's the problem. I guess Danny doesn't understand Sunshine Law. He really doesn't understand job advertising. Danny's been involved in this mess with the commissioners, or excuse me, with the attorney and the commissioners. And boy, I'll bet you Boots and Danny are still having a hard time trying to take a dump because their sphincters probably clenched up so hard when Donna asked that question that they really went home and had to hit the Metamucil and the X-Lax just to get regular again. Now, Anderson, he's never liked Clay anyway, but he's stuck with him, and Anderson's a good old boy. And if Shipman tells Anderson to sit there and take a squat to pee, that's what Tony's going to do. But Tony don't like Clay. I know that. But here, and so Barker wasn't there. So that was just, they didn't know what to do. And then Danny, like I said, trying to scare Donna. We need an interpretation, daily business, and the enforcement of the laws and making sure that the staff, the senior staff especially, are not violating laws and enforcing ordinance and doing business as required. That's not daily business. Daily business is happy to glad. And Danny, the daily business that really got them upset was they said a commissioner directed somebody to be fired. Well, it's time. The biggest problem in the county is the commissioners have given up all control. And if you'll notice, if you think about it, right now they only directly control the administrator, the TDC director, I guess it's Kellenberger, and the interim attorney, which we don't really have one. He's just a contract guy. So they have absolutely no way, and Cornhole. And they can't even tell Tony, hey, go fire Matt Carpenter for lying about the Sandestin report. And Tony don't know anything. Have you ever talked to him? Well, Commissioners, I don't know. And here's the other thing, too. How did Tony get hired? And the other day, it was so funny. Gary Madison, Tony Anderson calls Gary Madison up there to ask him questions, and Madison doesn't want to answer. And who's Madison? Why? How did he get back to HR from Trey Nick's office as a contractor? What about day-to-day? Did that happen while Trey was chairman? That Scott, who got interviewed for the legislative liaison job for the county? I'm sorry, that's not day-to-day operations. That's commissioners asking about what's going on. If things ain't going right, they have every right on our behalf, because who's running this damn county? Is it Matt Carpenter and Tony and all the interim people? Well, the hell with that. That's stupid. It's real stupid. It doesn't even pass the smell test. And it really didn't pass the smell test to hear. You guys know that Clay Atkinson, contract attorney for Walton County, is also the Freeport attorney, the Paxton attorney, the Defuniak Springs attorney. You find anywhere in the state. So here's what happened. Defuniak asked for something and asked the county for permission. And was Clay tell the other Clay, hey, tell your guys this is okay? It's complete conflict. Just like Mac running for office, Mac should be being indicted. They've been lying about ordinances and laws. Hey, commissioners, that's not day-to-day business. And commissioners, here's what you need to do. You change your org chart to where only 3 people reported to you. Planning director, TDC director, county administrator, assistant county administrator, county attorney, building department, and code enforcement all should report directly to the commission. Because when those people fail to do their jobs, the elected officials should be able to call them on the carpet and vote whether they keep their job, not wonder if the good old boy Tony or Larry is going to fire somebody, because they're not. They're not. How was it that Stan got fired by the administrator? Well, can you believe that shit? Danny was the one. Oh my God, Danny's in there telling Donna, don't ask about day-to-day stuff. But Danny was one of the people that directed admin to fire Stan Sunday. It was him and Barker. Can you believe that bullshit? He taught that people, you know, the state attorney did a grand jury investigation on Cindy Meadows for less than that. This don't make sense. We need another grand jury investigation, Governor. So this all, you need to go watch that show of the county attorney issue, and then go watch the Facebook post where all the county staff sings happy birthday. And Danny's right there at the front leading it. See, Clay is the best liar. And Danny and them are in trouble and don't want the truth out. So Danny doesn't, he would eat a dog turd out of the yard if Clay told him to. Because Danny knows that Clay knows some shit on Danny. And Danny's got Clay's back, so Clay will do anything to protect Danny and Boots. And Boots just sat there in bewilderment that he's got another problem. Have you ever noticed that? More shit hits the fan and Boots just cannot believe it. The other thing I cannot believe is Trey is still going around. I heard he showed up at Donna John's 8-up community meeting where she let some engineers who are lying about Sandestin give the community that they're dumping that dirty water into an update of how they were going to fix it. This is the same people who've lied about the Mac Bayou Road, you people in District 4. So listen up at the end of this show. I'm going to read some information to you. Miss Johns, you might better listen to this. It's only been given to you like 20 times. So listen to this. Right now, we're talking about money. The county project list, and Donna just had people give a brief on. There's a project going on in Driftwood Estates to pipe the water into the bay. So I'm going to read a document for you. Okay. This is from just what it says, the 89-09 ordinance. And these are the words of PhD Dr. Henry Harper, the county expert that's been hired. Statement of facts. Under the development order that has not changed stormwater requirements since it was readoption in 1989 by ordinance. The following is what is required of the Sandestin development order. Paragraph 19B, the older practice of curbing roads and thus directing the runoff water into storm sewers to immediately carry the water into the bay will not be employed. Once the runoff water has passed through the soils and vegetation immediately around the impervious surface, it will be led by percolation and sheet flow into a series of 170-acre lakes and internal lakes. Paragraph B, 19B, number 2, discharges into the surface water. Attachment B, none of the categories A through F, that's pretty much everything in that development order, will be discharged directly into any of the public waters surrounding the Sandestin project. In all cases, in bold letters, emphasis added, as in the handling of storm runoff, any liquid discharges such as treated effluent will be assimilated into the vegetation, soils, and internal lake system within the Sandestin area. Every precaution is being taken to maintain or improve the good water quality of the Choctawhatchee Bay. It goes on to define that even further than that, but here's the thing you really need to hear, and then I'll get off of it. It goes through this, and I want to read you the conclusion here. This is the county's report. Sorry, I don't normally do this, but somebody will say I misquoted it, and I don't want that to happen. The conclusion of Dr. Harper. Now, this is Dr. Harper, The Florida Board of Professional Engineers, the governing board over engineers in the state of Florida, has also reviewed Dr. Harper and said it was correct and wrote the county a letter telling them that Greg Graham, Chance Powell, and Charlie Cotton are using the wrong standard in Sandestin. But the county says they're just not sure, so they're still building high rises. So look here, Danny and Donna and all you people that just won't talk about it. Listen to this. This is what the conclusion was. Based upon the review of available documentation, this is the county and the special magistrates, everybody. This is Dr. Harper. There appears to be overwhelming evidence that the stormwater standard for the Sandestin DRI is intended to be a retention standard. And the conclusion is supported by documentation provided by the applicant, Sandestin, the DCA, and Walton County. There is little evidence to support a detention system as claimed by the county is what they intended. The engineer agrees that this is a extraordinarily high standard, particularly for the period of time, but the 3-year, 24-hour retention standard is consistent with the stated objectives of the applicants and the county of maintaining water quality within the Choctawhatchee Bay. Remember, the Choctawhatchee Bay was pristine in 1973 when they first applied for this. And the reason they gave them up standards is they didn't want it polluted. You get that, Trey, Nick? You dumbass, dumping your French fry grease in there. You want to know why you ain't got no crabs? Corruption. You ain't got no crabs for corruption. I'm not talking about them ones you called out on the county trips. I'm talking about the ones you catch in traps on the bay. So, therefore, the engineer concludes that the Sandestin DRI stormwater standard is a retention standard, 6.7 inches, 24 hours. You know what the county's out there doing right now, and they say they're borrowing money to pay for it or using your money, is they're out there putting an improvement to pipe water into the bay and break their own ordinance and break the state law and then say they're not. But if you want to drive to where these pipes are, you can take a tour of them by driving down real close along the west side of Sandestin, along the multi-million-dollar homes, and you'll see the great big pipes dumping it right into the bay. Or you can drive and go through Driftwood's public road, turn left coming into Driftwood, go all the way down to the end, and when you turn at the concrete wall, go about 350 feet, and on your left, you'll see a great big pipe taking all of that water into the bay, and then there's a few more. So the county is paying your money to break their own laws and the state laws. You can't make this shit up on the Alan Osborne show. Mac's running for office. They think that we're never going to have a permanent attorney that's not influenced by Clay. We're not going to have a real administrator. And the BCC is never going to organize itself where it can actually hold the staff responsible for standards. And they're not going to tell the state that they're in violation. And that's how it was in Walton County. You know, Walton spelled backwards is not law. Only in Adkinson land, in the land of sheriffs and rainbows and interim county attorneys. You can't make this shit up, but you can unelect it. You can call the governor's office. You can report it. You can file an ethics complaints. There's a lot of things you can do. And hey, Donna, you can pick up the phone and call the state attorney. You can call the DEO and report the substantial deviation. You can too, Danny. You too, Tony. Hey, Boots, can you spell DEO? Okay. Department of, it's DEO, Boots. Sorry, I hope 3 letters. You can call them, Boots, and report it. Okay, ask your age. She'll write it out. And that's the way it was on the Alan Osborne show. Tune in next time where we'll see if the residents of the Funiac are stupid enough to elect Matt Carpenter the Democrat. Only in not law. That's it for Walton County. See you next time.